Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha, Rekah Kwadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharon, Banyasha Allah, the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, our affamous children that believe in truth and sincerity. It's your brother Athanya Allah, back to another lesson in Yaharatazah is edifying. I want to start off in the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, right? You know, in the fold, all right, is where the judgment of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to start first, as is noted in scripture according to Amos chapter 9, verse 9. Let me get it. And it's Amos 9 and 9. I'll let the scriptures speak for themselves. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So not the least grain is going to fall upon the earth. The least grain is representing the elect, the 144,000 men, and the 1/3 men, women, and children. All right, so the Lord is going to sift the house of Israel, man, us as a whole, as a nation, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those of the speckled bird who may look like the other nations, but bear the same spirit as such. He's going to judge us as a whole in totality, all right, and only on these oncoming judgments, on these oncoming prophecies that's getting ready to be fulfilled, on the oncoming Jacob's trouble, ultimately leading to the hour of temptation, the Lord's test, where all men is going to be tried, all flesh, you know, and the Lord start at his house first. And not only does he start at his house first, he starts within his sheepfold. So just going back to 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17, we know for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, right? You know, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear, right? Because the righteous go scarcely be saved. As the scriptures say, their salvation is going to be as filthy rags. So, you know, you can't preach the new covenant. You know, you can preach the new covenant. You can't preach that we're in the new covenant. All right, that's going off. You know, we're waiting and hastening those new bodies. All right, the everlasting life and being perfect. But the main point there is that the Lord is sifting the house of Israel. All right, and this goes start at the sheepfold, beginning at those who know the truth. And that's why it's imperative for us to walk that thin line, always evaluate ourselves, you know, evaluate the flock, you know, what's around us. Because what? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 6. Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out for it therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us, right? You know, and always coming upon the time of the Passover, you have that spirit, all right, that Satan's in the midst, that he's he's ultimately seeking who he may devour, man, because that's ultimately what the Lord has set him up to do. You know, divide and conquer, you know, so we ultimately have to evaluate ourselves and make sure that we don't have leaven within ourselves. All right. And ultimately right our wrongs. All right. Make sure there's not any strife or contention between any brother, and move forward towards salvation. All right. And stay focused on the main goal, because that spirit is always going to be out there, because it's a part of the Lord's sift. All right, this is his setup. All right, this is his whipping stick. All right, it's the Lord's sword, being Esau, Edom, the devil. the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. And leaven doesn't always necessarily mean a particular individual. It can be a particular situation, all right, before it end up being a particular individual. That's why ultimately we have to evaluate ourselves and make sure that leaven, ultimately wickedness, is not in the midst, wherever it is, a situation or individual. So we have to purge out the old leaven. We have to purge out that old leaven, become that new creature, and continue to be that new creature and grow upon that new creature, and don't and keep that old man in remission and done away with. All right, kill off that old man. So we don't want to have leaven. This is the book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat, And that's the spirit, that's the spirit that's going to be out here, especially when we're getting towards the end. You're going to have Yahweh, we're a part of that number. We're not a part of the congregation of the dead or part of 2/3. All right, as we're not a part of the congregation of the dead now. All right, we were of the hopeful. All right, but 2/3 are going to be bugged out. They're going to be, the wicked is going to wax worse and worse. When it comes to the oncoming judgments that's coming upon this place in the fulfillment of prophecy and how bad this is going to get out here. So we have to be on our P's and Q's spiritually. We have to be sober-minded spiritually. All right. Because what Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Verse 32, but I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren, right? Strengthen thy brethren, man. Ultimately to build, to edify, all right? To build up, strengthen our brethren, all right? So he can fight and continue to fight and push towards the kingdom. All right. Ultimately, iron, if it's any type of strife and contention, you have to iron that out through the spirit. All right. And be willing to iron that out through the spirit. Put off that old man from the world of immaturity, of that mama boy spirit, of immaturity and niggardness. All right. And ultimately be willing to compromise with your brother of the like mind, that believes in the like doctrine, ultimately believing in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the truth. So we have to ultimately iron out all strife and contention, all malice or envy, if there's anything there. All right. And be transparent, because, that can lead to judgment, destruction. And you don't want that, it's not even, even all the way to a particular individual. All right. It can could be judged, when it all starts from a particular situation that could have been ceased and handled. All right. Just being the point. So, just the leaven. All right. And Satan desire to have you, and sift you as wheat. But this is the book of Galatians. It's a little quick hit in Galatians chapter 5 and verse 9. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump, right? A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. You can't have leaven. Just as the Passover, you can't have leaven, right? The little leaven will make it rise. A little wickedness turn everything spoil. All right. From there, I want to go to the book of Proverbs, and Yahweh Tazada's lesson was edifying. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 14. The beginning of strife is as Salakia. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore, leave off contention before it be meddled with. So the beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water, man. Like one cutting themselves and just blood starts to leak out. All right. The spiritual body, the blood of the spiritual body is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. The oil, so, strife and the beginning of strife, usually comes from what, like being cut, being offended, you know. So so when those things take place, or if those things exist, all right, that begins what the beginning of strife is, as when one letteth out water, man. You begin to letteth out water. Therefore, leave off contention, man. You want to leave contention off. You want to leave strife off. You want to leave malice off, enviness, and those ways, those things and elements of the world before it be meddled with by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because again, it's always a continual sift, and we don't want to be a part of that sift. So we always have to evaluate ourselves, evaluate what's around us through the Spirit, and hope that we have the hedge around us and the protection, man. And most importantly, watch, fight, and pray. Pray. And Shalom Habatah and DTA to the next one.